Welcome to Secular Soup. Stay tuned for real talk about atheism, feminism, politics, parenting, and whatever the fuck else Amy and Amy want to talk about, because this is their show. And get ready for a whole lot of motherfucking profanity.
Want to hear a secret?
I won't tell anybody. Go ahead.
If I sit next to you, I'm going to get gonorrhea. It's going to jump into me. Just two ladies hanging out.
Is it okay for me to make fun of his neck waddle if I make fun of my own neck waddle?
I'm not sure.
That's a real ethical conundrum.
Would you know if you were born a lizard person, or can you be like adopted into the...
I think you know.
We're such professionals.
We really are.
Buckle up, bitches. It's time to have some soup.
I'm Amy with a Y.
And I'm Amy with an I.
And we are just two blueberries floating in a bowl of tomato soup that we keep rotating on our, because I like to lean against the wall. So yeah,
I
welcome.
like leaning against the wall too.
I'm old and I'm getting a bad back, so I gotta lean against my wall here. Yeah, welcome to our show. If you've never listened, it's not good. You might want to turn back now. I'm just saying.
But we're better than all those men. Let's be real.
True. Well, they're funnier though, because as we have established, women lack the genetics for funny. I think you get a certain set of, I don't know science, Amy.
It's in the penis gene.
There you go. That's what it is. And if you have that, then you can be funny. And if you don't, you're just us. So speaking of which, oh my God, I re-listened to that debate I did on Robert's show about racist comedy.
Oof.
Holy shit. I had sent the link to somebody. And I was like, here's this thing I did. And then I'm like, I'm going to re-listen to that. And oh my fucking God.
They'll make you hate people.
I just, the guy that was on there that I was arguing with the most, who I remember at the time telling Robert, I'm never coming on your show again. Like if that guy is anywhere near your show, I may consider coming on again, but not if he's there, because fuck that guy. I re-listened to it, and at the end of the show, I had missed that he said, fuck you to me. Yeah. Or go fuck yourself. I can't remember which one. It was one of them directed at me on a show. And I'm just like, it was so, in the context of learning about more sexual predators in the atheist community, it was because we had been discussing Louis C.K. And
he was defending?
Oh, absolutely. Yes, he was defending Louis C.K. It was Sean Yankee, by the way. I don't know, he's a disgusting, vile human.
I don't care. I'm not.
You don't know him. He's a conspiracy theorist. He has like a conspiracy theory podcast, and he's also like a huge Bernie bro somehow.
Of course.
But he's actually typical, like, Louis did a bad thing, but he's a genius. He's a comedic genius. And you can't just tell him to stop doing the thing he does. He's one of the best that's ever done it. And how dare you say he shouldn't? Like, I think I had said something along the lines of, yeah, he should fucking quit comedy. Fuck him. I don't think he should be required to quit comedy.
No. But the thing is, consequences are your audiences should be empty.
Yeah. Like, I think it would be in good taste for him to fucking not ever do it again. Yeah. He's fine. He's got money. He's going to be fine. He's not going to starve. He'll still live in comfort. He'll be just fine. I think if he has
daughters too. That's what's gross. Like,
I think if he were actually sorry about what he did, he would have the fucking class not to go back to comedy. But he doesn't. And I think he's
probably still doing shows.
Oh, he absolutely is still doing shows, and was at the time we did this interview. And that's kind of what we were arguing about.
He's probably still doing shows. That guy's probably in his audience.
Yeah. And this guy was just like, just fucking outraged that I would suggest that somebody like him shouldn't do comedy anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, I'm not saying he should be forcibly taken off the stage by the police.
Right. Although,
I'm saying, fucking optics, dude.
I'm not sure.
Think of all the women who quit comedy because of him. You're assuming that he is that much fucking funnier than those women who quit. because of him. You don't know that. They could have been way fucking funnier than him. You'll never know because they quit fucking comedy because of that man. Because he put them in such a shitty position that he has never adequately apologized for.
No.
Ever.
That's the problem is because
I get pissed off thinking about it. I'm just like,
I know. There's so many people
that,
especially because women, this happens to women a lot, where you're put in a position at work or somewhere where you have no choice whether either to
go along with
subject yourself to what's going on or quit. Because I've done that. I've had to quit before. I've had to leave. I've been sexually harassed at least 3 jobs over the years, including my first job ever when I was 16. I was a 16-year-old. I was a little 16-year-old girl.
Me too. When I was 16. Total.
Yeah. Like the guy, like the manager was like really, he was creeping on me. And finally I just quit and went to another job. But
yeah, as you do. And then they face, these guys, most of them never have any.
Why do you have so many jobs? Why do you jump around so much? Why can't you stay consistent? Because I get harassed at every job I have.
Then why didn't you go to the police?
Okay,
why didn't you report it?
Well, there was another thing, like if you report something, because we talked about my sexual assault and like other things. So if you report it later, they're like, well, I just don't believe you because it took so long for you to say anything. I'm like,
and so what are your motivations now?
What are you actually supposed to do then? Like, what are you actually supposed to do?
Nothing. You're supposed to be a good sport.
Don't act like you didn't like it.
And suck it up.
It's actually flattering that someone is telling you that you look great.
Thank you. I mean, that just means that you're not too ugly to be raped. I'm just saying.
Oh, God.
Such a good joke.
So gross.
That was something else we discussed on that podcast was rape jokes.
Oof.
And he was also angry with me that I was like, I think Robert had played a joke. He had played some kind of fucking rape joke, probably from Daniel Tosh, because I was like, fuck Daniel Tosh.
Oh, and he's gross.
Of course, it was a panel of like 4 dudes and me. And most of them were pretty pro, like, these liberals going crazy with their PC culture, and me there to like speak on behalf of all women everywhere and defend my position. They were saying something about rape, and I was re-listening to it, listening to how fucking angry I got because they were all laughing hysterically at a joke about frat guys. Like the best college to go to was the one that had the most girls you could rape. And I'm like, you know what? If a full 50% of my friends hadn't been raped at some point, like, sure, you hear 1 in 4. Oh God, it's way fucking higher than 1 in 4.
Than that.
I'm sorry, just based on personal experience,
at
least 50%. I mean, generous and conservative.
75, yeah.
But being conservative in numbers, I would say at least 50% of my friends have been sexually assaulted at some point. Many of them in college. Like, that's a huge problem in college. And we're expected to be like, oh, that's so funny. Oh my
gosh, let's make light of it.
No, make a different fucking joke. Fuck you, it's not that funny. There's an entire 1/4 of the population that you live with who is hurt by, like, not just that they don't have senses of humor.
Yeah.
You're hurting them by suggesting that that's hilarious, what happened to them. Like, I think I have a good sense of humor. I have a dark sense of humor. I love dark jokes.
Me too.
I'm not the kind of person who will just, like, have to harp on every single joke, and that's not funny because, like, I find a lot of horribly inappropriate shit funny.
We laugh at a lot of bad things when we're together.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. I wouldn't want people to know some of the stuff I laugh at when we're together. But that's part of the thing. When we're together, we know who the audience is. Right? Like, I know who I'm talking to.
I just do my best to make sure you, like, snort laugh, basically.
Exactly. But if you're on stage or you're in, like, some sort of public forum and you don't know who's in the audience, you're probably talking to a ton of fucking women who've been raped. So maybe just shut the fuck up on that one. Like, I can't.
When the Me Too movement came out and people were like, I don't know any women that have been raped. It's like, oh, I guarantee you do.
Right?
You're not safe. You're not safe. That's what they're saying.
That so many men were shocked by that continues to entertain me because
my
I think
friends shared this thing. It's like, what? I've known her for 15 years.
She never told me.
How dare she never told me she was raped 20 years ago?
She never told me about that.
We've hung out multiple times at a
she
bar.
Never went to the police. What the fuck? I remember thinking when that happened, I do vividly remember seeing all the posts and going, it's even more of my friends than I thought. What do you know? Like, that was my shock level. Went, her too.
I would heart it. I'm like,
yeah, me too. But like, at no point was I shocked going, this many of us? Oh no, we all knew it was that many of us. Like, frankly, we didn't talk about it amongst ourselves enough because we had all internalized that culture of like shame. And so with a lot of my friends, it was something we didn't talk about.
That's why we started talking about it amongst ourselves.
Exactly, because then you start hearing about...
We started sharing our stories on our show too, which opened up a lot of conversations on the back end that people don't know about. We had a lot of people reach out to the show and say, hey, this happened to me. This happened to me. I had friends reach out to me individually. You probably did too. Yeah,
absolutely.
So it was really...
And that's how you... That's how you take down sexual predators too, is you shine a light on what they're doing, because a lot of times people think they are the only person it's happened to. And as we have learned, women in general, we don't tend to value our own well-being and feelings. We value everyone else's on top of it. So if a thing just happened to us, we're like, well, I'm tough. I can deal with it. It's okay.
What was I doing too? I mean, I must have given the wrong impression.
And I'm sure he was really drunk. Like, it happens.
We do. We make excuses for really
all
shitty
kinds
behavior.
of excuses. But then when we find out it happened to one of our friends,
we get furious.
Then we get pissed because we value their well-being and happiness more than our own, which in and of itself is kind of fucked up. But
I mean, that's raised basically to be...
Well, and that's how a lot of these predators keep going. You know, they target women. They do whatever they're going to do just one time, never do it again to that woman. And so that woman thinks, well, it was this one time, he screwed up. It's better now. He apologized. And we don't know that they're out doing that to a whole bunch of other women who are thinking the exact same thing we were thinking, you know?
Exactly. So with my experience that I had last year when I was assaulted by that woman, I thought same thing. I was like, you know, it's just one thing. She was drunk. We were at a party, you know, whatever. And then when I finally said something, it started coming out all the other people that she's done it to. Like, it was a long list of people, and she's done it to like more since then. And it just keeps compiling. I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is like a prime example of, you know,
because it's a woman, it's even more people. I feel like people make more excuses.
She's not shunned like she should be.
No, absolutely not.
Because she's, you know, I mean, look, she's a lady, and you know how you ladies do.
You were just having a fun lady moment.
Yeah.
Because you're friends. Sorry, I'm taking a selfie.
I already took mine.
Because that's what I do. Until, though, with the women predators, until you bring your friend to a bar in Texas and she loses her mind and drinks too much.
So I found out later. I already told you this.
You did.
Yeah, that she'd asked her to check. But I think it was both of us, because they went outside because of you. Because they were so uncomfortable.
Fucking scary.
It were scary.
That's what happens when you get a few drinks in me and make me really mad.
I literally did a tequila shot and ran over there hot. I was like,
I'm still sad nobody recorded it. Like, it would have made such a good viral video. Just
right?
Yeah.
Oh, well, when I go over there and I'm like, hey.
Did I tell you?
This is my birthday party. What the fuck are you doing here?
Did I tell you I had a chance to do that again when I was out at axe throwing last week?
That's fantastic.
Not quite to that extent, but so I joined. Well, I didn't join a league. There's this axe throwing night every Monday,
right?
And I've been going to it with some of my friends, and we were going to have a team, and then they had to switch up how they do it. It's a whole long story, but it's on Monday nights.
Yeah.
So my friend and I had gone the first week, so 2 weeks ago, and I had been doing it before. She had never done it, but she was practicing. She was good at it. Like, she beat me I came in last. She came in second to last. Because frankly, I'm not that good at it. I pretend I am. I'm not. But so like she kind of knew what she was doing. So we went back the next week, which would have been this past Monday, and we got there a little early, and she got there before I did. And she had started practicing. And when I got there, she was sitting at the table just furious. Like, you could see her just like red and shaking and just trying to like stay calm and having a drink. And I went up to her and she's like, so that guy over there, and she kind of motioned to this guy who was standing there, and she told me that basically she had been trying to do her practice, and when you first start throwing axes, and by first start I mean like you just get there and you're just warming up, it's kind of hard to do. Like, they're not all gonna hit. So she had thrown a few that didn't hit, and this guy had come up to her and told her she needed to stand closer to the target, and he did it in a way that was like, no, stand here, put your foot here. And she didn't fucking know this guy. Like, does he work here? Is he just some random guy that came in who's telling her how to do this? And she looked at him and was like, well, I have done this before. Like, I was here last week. I'm just warming up and it takes a minute. And he's like, you need to step forward or I'll make you step to it.
Oh. Okay.
And this friend of mine is badass. She is a drag racer. She races drag race. Like, she's not a woman that you need to go fucking explain shit to. Anyway. And so that just shook her, because you're in that position. Not okay. It's not okay. And you don't know what to say. Well, you don't know what to say because you're like, this is the second time she's been at this place. Literally the second time she's done axe throwing. This guy wasn't there the week before that. We literally didn't know if he worked there or if he was just somebody there for the league or like what. And so
did he have steel-toe boots on?
I think he probably did. If he didn't, he looked like he did. He also had a hatchet holster hanging from his belt. A weirdly roughly made one that was oversized comically for his small frame, and really made him stand out. But he was in the other part of the room talking to some of the other dudes. And it was these two younger women who kind of run the place on league night. Yeah. And by younger, I mean, one of them looks like she's 22 and the other one's probably 30. They're babies. So, they're basically babies.
More my age.
Yeah, exactly. Yes,
I don't appreciate that you laugh at that.
Totally. Yeah, they're Gen Z. What I don't know. So she was sitting there just frustrated because she's like, she just couldn't even, she was just trying to calm herself down.
Yeah, because that shakes you up.
Yeah. And especially I feel like when you're kind of a tough woman, like we are, and you get frustrated because you think of all the things you should have said afterwards.
Yeah.
And you're like, God damn it, I should. And then you're just focusing on how you should have said that thing and you didn't. And then
if you go back over and bring it back up, what do you do? Like,
well, and then how do you, this guy's over there now talking to 5 other men.
Yeah, what do you do?
And you walk into that group of 5 men that, like, anyway. Yeah,
it's basically walking into a lion's den.
Right. So I went up to the front desk because then I was like, ooh, that triggered my crazy mafia gene from Texas. And
it's back now.
So I went up to the front desk and I just quietly, I'm like, hey, so that guy standing over there with the hat on, does he work here? And they looked and they're like, oh, him. Yeah, he works here. And I said, okay, because he just made my friend really, really uncomfortable. And she is pretty shaken up and is ready to leave because of it. Oh, what did he do? Is it because, did he try to coach her? I'm like, he didn't try to coach her.
Yeah.
He told her how to do it in kind of a rude way. Yeah, he works here. And he does that because, he's good at it and he just wants to help people and he's good at, like, he likes to coach them. And because, he thinks like he's the best at it. And so he wants
exactly
to,
what
so like, done. Try not to take it personally. Like, do that and just don't take it personally. But, like, well, I'll mention it to him. But try not to take it personally. And I was just like,
oh no, I've got this.
Okay. Just stood there for a minute being like, and then glared at this dude just like. So then I'm like, she went outside to smoke. Mm-hmm. As a smoker. I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna go practice as bait and see if he'll come up to me and say something to me. I can be really fucking bad at this because I am anyway. But he didn't. I went up and practiced. He did not come to
right in front of
me.
you. You're like,
I can't. No, lady arms.
So heavy.
So heavy. I can't.
If only there was a man with a hatchet holster.
With a hatchet holster who can show me how to do it.
Do I use one hand? Do I use two?
What kind of grip do I have to have?
Will it break my nails?
Oh my God. That didn't happen though. She ended up coming back in and she had calmed down, and I spent the whole night passive aggressively glaring at this dude. And then the way that they do the leagues, since they don't have teams now, is just everybody competes against each other at some point. So they call names and it's like you against you. So I had to be up against him before she did.
Nice.
So we went up and we were in opposite. They put you in 2 different lanes. You throw 5 times, you switch lanes, you throw 5 more times. That's how they score it. So we went up and I just didn't even fucking, and I did all my throws. And then when you go to the next lane, you're supposed to like tap your axes together as like a good teamwork, like, I don't know, thing. I thought about cutting his dick off when I walked by.
Or accidentally cutting his thumb off, or
right. But I feel like they would have made me go home. Yeah, and I was having fun.
It's not illegal, it's frowned upon.
Well, and he had the holster, it probably would have blocked it well enough.
Put it in the holster in the front.
So what I did was
store it there until he goes to the hospital.
I tapped his fucking thing and gave him the dirtiest eye roll and mean bitch face look I could muster, and then I went and through the rest of them. And then as we were done, of course he fucking won because he is the best one there. He had practically fucking perfect throws. Yeah. However, I think he's cheating, but that's just me. But as he was walking out, he was like, hey, good game, good round. Good. Like he made sure to like tell me what a good job I did, and I just fucking rolled my eyes at him again and turned around and walked away. And then when my friend got up and was competing against him, he did the same thing where he was actually kind of nice about it, was like, oh, good throw, and was, so I'm thinking maybe they did say something to him. But like, if you do work there, do you want people to show up for this or not?
You can't tell someone you're going to make them move,
right?
That's
like, if somebody asks you, there was a guy there the week before that, a really nice guy who I think also worked there, but that dude knew how to like talk to people with some finesse and read a room and not be pushy about it and be like, oh, hey, you want me to show you? Like he would ask.
Do you want me to help you with this?
Right. Not just like pushing and, hey, bitch, you're clearly bad at this. Let me help you out.
Lady bitch.
Like, just fuck off. This is not a thing for professional axe throwers. You have advertised this to be for all skill levels.
Yeah.
Just for fun. We're playing for a free beer. That's the stakes at this thing. Like, it's literally every week you win a free beer. I think they should fucking disqualify this guy because he's just going to win every week. But the way I think he's cheating is that the problem is I don't know enough about professional axe throwing rules to be sure that he is cheating. I would think he probably does know more than I do and therefore is somehow technically not cheating, but it looks sketchy to me. So there are 12-foot lines that you have to go up to, right? And you're not supposed to cross the line with your foot when you're throwing because then you're standing too fucking close to the target.
Right.
If we can all stand right fucking next to the target, it's much easier. Right? So that's why there are distance rules. And there are 3 different lines and you can choose which one. So sometimes for some people it's easier to stand further back because of the rotations. It's a whole This guy is halfway to the fucking target when that axe leaves his hand.
Because he's taking and
he keeps going. And I was pointing it out to my friend, like that just he is so fucking close when when it leaves his hand. And she was watching him and she's like, well, I think technically he throws the axe before his foot lands over the line, which could be accurate. I tried watching and it kind of happens too fast to really catch if that's happening or not. But like, if you're that fucking good at it, do it from back there. Like everybody else here is doing. Yeah. Literally everybody else there is doing it that way. He's twice as fucking close to the target when he throws it.
Yeah.
That seems, I don't know. Fortunately there's at least one woman there who fucking rocked. She was so good. She didn't win first. Good. But she was very good. I was up against her a few times and I didn't win last this time. I got second to last. So my friend still beat me because she's still better than me after doing it twice. But whatever. I did get better because I figured out that I prefer the two-handed overthrow with the wooden handled axe to the single-armed throw with the lightweight axes. So I am going to work on that. It's easier to hit the target, but everybody had fun with my double-sided little throwing star hatchet things. It's a crowd pleaser. Everybody, I'm fun. I show up to the party with fun stuff. And then our friend Steph, who was at Drunkcast,
the Minnesota Drunkcast.
Yes, she showed up to observe. She wants to do the axe throwing, but she was late this time. She just kind of showed up and hung out. And I made a new friend who's amazing, who should come to our next Drunkcast. And
good. I'll try to stack the next Drunkcast with more women.
Yeah, bring ladies next time. Jesus fucking Christ, Amy. Sausage Fest in Texas. Oh my god.
That's what I'm saying. I can't.
Why do you have so many dude? Like I have a lot of dude friends, but Jesus, none of them are coming to my Drunkcast. I don't.
Well, honestly, I have really good friends that are I have a lot of male friends, but
because you like guys more than girls.
No,
you're not like the typical girl.
I don't think that's it at all. I think it's just the atheist community is just more men.
Yeah, it is. But not men. Am I right? See what I did there? There's a play on words, Amy. It's kind of like fun.
So I have some things.
Yeah, please.
So we've been talking about co-parenting and the whole drama with Smishmorse and stuff. And I'm 5 years out, which is weird because when we started the show, I was going through it. And I'm now 5 years out. And so it's weird. It's pretty smooth now. I don't really have any conflict. There's not much going on. But so my ex is obviously an abuser. He still, does things when he gets an opportunity. So every now and then there's a little thing that pops up. So one of my children has recently announced that they are a vegetarian, which is fine. I don't care. Yeah. So what I did was what I would imagine any parent would do. I'm not going to completely change what I make for my kids because I'm not a vegetarian currently, and none of my other children are. So I went and got a bunch of vegetarian frozen meals, vegetarian nuggets, snacks, and a bunch of things that they can just make for themselves. Right. And, when they're here, if they don't want to eat what we're making, then they can have some vegetarian nuggets. They can have some vegetarian, make one of those bowls or whatever. It's fine. I got some like tofu scrambles or whatever. So whatever, that's fine. So I get this text when you're here actually saying, did I already tell this story on the show? I don't think so.
I don't think you did. No. I mean, you told me and you told Sarah.
Okay. Yeah. So I get this text when you're here. Like it was right when we were pulling in to come to my house actually. And I get this text from my child saying, Dad said I'm not a vegetarian and I can't eat, vegetarian meals over at his house. I'm like, what? Doesn't make any sense to me. Like, how is this hard? And so the next time they came over, I just gave them the bag of stuff that I'd bought and said, like, here, just take this to your house, to your dad's house, and just make this when you're there. It's not a big deal.
Right.
So then I find out earlier this past week that he's refusing to even heat up the food and not letting them even have an option of the food and just basically force feeding meat, and it's turning into a big fight every night. Every meal is a fight now, and so they're choosing to not eat versus have the fight or eat something they don't want to eat or being undernourished because they don't have things that they want. It's a whole thing. So I'm like, oh my God. And then they come over here and they're perfectly delightful and they're eating like everything in sight and Girl Scout cookies and whatever. And it's, whatever. And then they go back. Like I saw the shift when he pulled up and sent the text that he was here. They were like laying on me. We were playing video games, like super fun all weekend. And then cranky, like snipping at siblings and fighting and being really uncomfortable and mad. I'm like, oh my gosh, like the switch.
Yeah.
And then I heard yesterday, I was talking to one of my older children. I was like, hey, can you support them in this and just heat it up and help them out so they can have an option? Because if they've already eaten, then I'll feel better about them just going to bed without eating, because they just have their own food. They'll just eat their food and just eat it, leave, and I will keep them supplied in vegetarian food. I don't care. And so I'm like, just can you help out with that? And he was like, yeah. He's like, I just don't want Dad to see me do it or hear me doing it. I'm like, why would he care if you're heating up a frozen meal that he didn't even buy? And he was like, because then he'll cry and say that he's not even a good dad. And then it'll turn into me having to reassure him that is actually a good dad and making him feel good. I'm like, oh my God. I told him, I used the same line. I was like, that's emotional manipulation. And that's like turning you into a hostage, right? Like he's literally.
It's a hostage situation.
Yeah. So
it's abuse.
Apparently that's what my ex does to them now. If they say anything or they push back on anything, then he cries and says, I guess I'm just not a good dad. And he also tells them that he needs them and ask them if they need him.
Wow.
So basically this is fun. It's fun. It's fun.
Yeah.
So I talked about it a lot in therapy this week. I'm like, so, because it really triggers a lot of the abuse that he's doing to my children now.
Right.
Triggers a lot of stuff, the control stuff. Yeah. So it's starting to, it's hitting a lot of notes. So I'm like, yeah, I'm like, this is really like it's insidious. And
well, it's gotta feel helpless when it's your kids going through it and you can't do anything.
All I can do is be a safe place for them and give them a good weekend and offer them food and offer them space. And, maybe when I move to a bigger place, they can move here, but I can't afford a place in their school district. So I have to move outside of their school district and the bus stops at their dad's house. Like, I don't, it's a very helpless feeling. So basically, and it's not illegal to be an asshole. That's the thing is, I learned that going through the doors. I'm like, but he does this, 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 and this. And my attorney's like, yeah, he's a dick. I get it. He's an absolute dick. It's not illegal. Nothing he's doing is illegal. Like, it's not illegal to force your child to eat meat. It's not illegal to, not let your child cut their hair. It's not illegal to not let your kid get their driver's license. None of these things are illegal. It's just a massive controlling asshole.
Unfortunately, we don't have enough laws about controlling coercive control stuff. Like, and I know that's something in England that they have worked on, is having actual laws against coercive control, which is a form of abuse.
That's the form of abuse. That's
right.
It's his speciality. He's a master at it.
Yes.
Master class.
I can tell.
Really, really wished you had like seen him. Or I know you would have been like a complete rude to him, but I wish. I'm gonna try at some point, because every time I end up some event, I just want to snap a picture for you every time. But there's never a right moment to like,
covertly.
Like, how do I do that? But I need you to see how bad he looks. Like, I need you to know this.
Could you get one of your kids to just be like, I don't have an updated picture of you and your dad to put on the fridge. Could you get me one?
They know I hate their dad. So,
I mean, okay, fair.
There's no reason
event,
for me to have a picture of their dad.
Yeah, I
unfriended him on Facebook. I changed my last name. Like, I've gone through this whole thing. I don't actively tell them they don't like their dad, but it's very obvious they like their dad. Because then when they tell me things like that, I'm like, that's abuse, right? Like, and I even tell them, because their dad yells all the time. I'm like, yelling is violence, right? Like, it's the same thing as slapping someone in the face when you yell at them.
Well, and if nothing else, if you can't do anything, maybe at least they're knowing about it means they could go to a school counselor or.
But what can they do? The school counselor can't do anything either.
If they are, I don't know. I feel like there's got to be a way social services could get involved.
He's not doing anything wrong. He's feeding her. Like, he's making sure there's food, the house is safe and clean, and there's nothing wrong. Like, I have family members that worked with CPS. Like, there's nothing. There's nothing. Because when we were going through the split, I was like, hey, what about this? And they're like, no. Like, no, there's nothing. There's literally, I've gone through, and that was back when he was screaming at me in front of them. They were literally on recording, sobbing in the background. They're like, yeah, that sucks. You should leave that guy. I'm like,
the fact that is not
what I'm trying to do.
Prosecutable child abuse is just
not. No, they didn't
like.
It's not like that one. Remember that one video that went viral like years and years ago about that guy that was encouraging his children to yell obscenities at their mom?
No, but I feel like that's a pretty common occurrence.
But I don't think that was actually the thing that was illegal. I think it was when they started hitting their mom also.
Yeah, probably.
But that wasn't the part. It was. Yeah, I wasn't. So that I told you this before. Like, I went to all these women's shelters and all kinds of people, and they were like, "No, you're not abused enough." They were like, "It's only." She was like, "Look, I hate saying this because I understand." And this was an attorney who works with abused women. She was like, "I hate saying this, and it sounds terrible." She was like, "But look, I have this woman who's in the hospital right now with 3 broken ribs, a broken eye socket. You know, she has a broken arm, and she doesn't have a place to go to when she gets out of the hospital." And she was like, "Are you going to end up like that?" And I was like, "Probably not." And she was like, "And I know emotional abuse is abuse, but it's not enough abuse for the state to be able." Right. So that's what I'm running into. He's just switched his brand. Because I'm untouchable now. He cannot. He can't reach me, which is great.
But he can control you through the kids.
But that's something I feel. I have so much guilt about this that that's who I picked to bring 3 children into the world with. And
you didn't pick that.
I have no, but I have so much guilt about this. Like, that is something I'm really working with, that I have, like, that's who their other parent is. And I literally sent him a text today saying, hey, because yesterday my daughter had to be at the school at 7 a.m. for some choir trip. And then I had to go pick her up, and it was a whole thing and whatever. So I was just driving around all day yesterday. So I sent a text today saying, hey, can you pick them up from my house today? No response. My son sent a text, got a response back in 2 minutes. I was like, why? Because I was like, hey, do you know, like, he was like, let me send a text. I was like, why would it matter? And he was like, it does. I'm like, but why? Because they know their dad's not going to message me back, even though by decree he needs to fucking respond to me. It's in the decree. But okay.
And even though it's about his daughter and something that she needs to do.
No, this was yesterday. This is today. I didn't want to drive anymore because I drove all day yesterday. So yesterday I just did all the driving. And of course, being a 12-year-old child, she forgot the clothes that she needed for the thing. So we actually had to leave like earlier than we would have. And her school's like 30 minutes. Well, not 30. It's like 20 minutes away. So, because I don't live in the school district. So we're coming from my house to her school. So she's like, oh, I forgot my clothes. So we had to swing by her dad's house. She has to call her dad to make sure he's awake to unlock the door so she can get in. So she has to wake him up. Then she has to go get her clothes. And I'm like in the car, like, oh my God, she has to be here by this time or I'm going to. Because they have this thing in the email saying if you aren't there by this time, the buses will leave without you.
Yeah.
And so I'm sitting here looking at the clock, like we need to leave his house by 6:30 in order to get there. So it's a whole thing.
I would just.
So there's pants in my car now because she changed her clothes in my car, and it's a whole.
I think rules like that, where if you're not here by this amount of time, we will leave without you, are ableist against ADHD people, and you should change my mind about that.
I straight up told her, I was like, look, dude, I don't have driving all the way to the thing in me today. So you better hurry because I'm not sure I'll take you. And she was like, oh, and so she ran and she got dressed and she came out and I told her to be in the car by 6:30. She got in the car at 6:29, like 30 seconds, and like slammed the door and she's like, okay, let's go. I'm like, thank you.
Wow.
Because there is no way I was going to drive to, different town at 6 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning. There's no way.
I rarely drive anywhere at 6 o'clock in the morning. No, thank you.
On a Saturday. I had to wake up a Saturday. And I was messaging some of my friends. I'm like, I had to drive my daughter to school Saturday. And they're like, why does she have to go to school on Saturday? I'm like, it's a choir thing. And it was good. It was like a team building thing. And they liked it. And she like, they did like rock climbing and parkour stuff and indoor zip lining and all kinds of stuff. But
yeah. Meanwhile, I took my son to the cities because he desperately needed
some me time.
He needed a break from life and he needed some me time. The break from life thing is my own wording that I gave him quite some time ago. We were talking about depression, anxiety, and
life.
Well, because he's got anxiety, he does a lot of just ruminating, right? About just like a bad thing's going to happen and it snowballs. And with depression, I kind of do that too, but it's not like a snowballing thing. It's more just that I can't get out of my head the crushing weight of all the responsibility that I have. And so I'll kind of do this trick in my mind where I'm like, okay, I just need to take a break from my life. And from this time until this time, I'm giving myself permission to not think about it. And that is the time that I will take a break.
Yeah.
And so sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. That can help. But yeah, I told him that at one point, and ever since then, he's like, I just need a break. The context I told it to him in is more like, I'm going to bed now, so I'm going to need you to not bother me because I just need to sleep and be done with this day, and then tomorrow. Anyway, but
I've been sleeping a lot lately,
more than anything in the whole world.
I know, it's adorable, and he loves hot tubs like you.
Tubs. No, he was the first trip that he really got into the hot tub and was like, I'm gonna
are you coming to Texas in February?
Fuck, I don't have any money. How am I gonna come to Texas in February?
I forgot. No, did you say yes?
Sure. I'm
gaslighting you. Like, did you? Was it something?
But I am in the market for a wealthy friend. So if you know some wealthy friends,
that would be so
I'll take them. I just need a couple of millionaires that'll
Brian Keith Dalton on this show. He has
I remember. He's got a
wealthy beneficiary who takes them to like plays and stuff. I'm like, hey,
the Book of Mormon. Why can't he be our friend?
Super delightful. So
we're fun.
Not saying I'll do sexual favors.
Right.
I'm saying I'll think about it real hard. If we had a wealthy beneficiary of the show who took us to plays and if someone came to town and like,
I'll be nice. I'll be your friend. I'm a fun friend. Like
you really are. As long as you're not waiting for you to be ready by a certain time.
Oh, don't do that. No.
That's what's fun. We were just kind of like easygoing. It was just free time. It was fine. But when we had like a show that started in a certain minute, we were like down in a different city. I was like stressed.
Yeah, no,
traffic sucked. It was the traffic. It wasn't you. It was the traffic.
I cannot. I put that right in my dating profile. I will be late for everything because I just will.
I'm not. Again, I'm like early.
How do you have ADHD?
Because the anxiety is worse.
I guess.
I really think the anxiety kind of like balances it out. Like, because my anxiety,
probably.
If I'm late, do you know what that would do to my image? Do you know what that would do to my mother? Do you know what that would do to my guilt? Like, do you
at this point, being late is my brand. So if I wasn't late, I would be so off brand. It would be like if I were smiling all the time and it would freak people out.
Although
I owe it to other people to be late to
flight while I was sitting in the area for the flight because I didn't feel like that was for me.
Well, here you'll love this.
I did straight up miss the flight. Like I was awake. I was just sitting there watching everybody get on the flight. I'm like, huh.
Oh my God. I have been wearing the wrong earbuds this entire time.
Oh yeah,
that's why my ears hurt. The speaker thing's up anyway. No, what I was gonna say was I have COVID. I think I mentioned that. Did I just mention that in the pre-show? I don't know.
Yeah, you didn't say it on the show, but yeah, you have COVID.
Finally, for the first time in 3 years.
Although we're calling it COVID for you.
It's delightful. It's definitely.
I had COVID too. Let's be fair.
Anyway, at first I did not think I did. I tested negative, and
which happens, yeah.
And didn't have any symptoms. And then I got symptoms, and now I tested again today, and it was positive. So it's definitely COVID. Although today I feel fine, which is weird.
That's the thing. I mean, I felt like I had like allergies for about a week, but I was still testing positive. Like it was weird.
The first day I was just very, very dizzy and tired. I never got.
I got that bone tiredness
that I feel fine.
Inside my bones.
Oh, yeah, I slept till like 11:30 yesterday. I think, which is unheard of. But what the fuck?
Yeah, both of us, even when we were up until 4 a.m., I would text you. I'm like, why are you awake? It was 8:30. And you're like, I don't know. Why are you awake? And we would both just go to the living room. We're like, we don't sleep. We literally just don't sleep.
The problem is social media. I am a social person by nature.
Yeah.
And so when I wake up and check my phone to see what time it is, and then I'm like, ooh,
messages.
I have messages. I can talk to 6 people while I'm still laying in bed and not even have to get out of it.
I honestly think that's delightful.
I mean, if I could have conversations, the only thing stopping me from having more conversations all day is my physical ability to text. Like I can't. I'm getting carpal tunnel, I think.
You're in most of my conversations. I only have like maybe 2 more, and I am done. I have so many. Done. I'm sure.
Although mine kind of alternate. Like usually, I've got all those group chats going.
I hate them.
And then I like them depending on the group chat.
Oh, yeah.
But then I usually have 1 or 2 people who I have sidelined for that day. And we're just best friends now, and we're going to talk about everything, and that's kind of my MO. So
I don't do that.
And then I have certain people that I just kind of talk to every day.
I take I don't do that.
It's because you're a bitch. Nobody likes you.
Did you see what I posted in the soup chat group? I was like, if the link works.
Oh yeah.
I was like, let me know if the link doesn't work. If it doesn't work, don't talk to me.
Oddly enough, I had literally just gone and found the link to post it in that group because I did not know you did it already. So,
well, because I wasn't sure how late you were going to be because you were getting ready.
Oh, that's what I was going to tell you. So COVID, I've been sitting around doing nothing, right?
Yeah,
which means I literally had all day to get ready for this. All day. In fact, I was thinking to myself, if I wanted to, I could spend 5 hours putting makeup on.
I wouldn't even know what to do with myself for 5 hours.
Dyeing my hair. I could change my clothes 700 times like I like to do. I have so much time to get ready, but you know what? I bet I'm still going to be fucking late for it. And guess what? I managed to still be late for it.
Yeah, I get a tag. Can we do it at 6:30? I'm like,
because
I'm so hungry.
I badly timed the amount of time it would take to dye my hair plus do the makeup, and I was just having a really long conversation all day. I like socializing and talking to people. It's my downfall. I can't help it. And it's a problem. I need to stop talking to people. So if you don't hear from me for 3 months, it's because I'm doing a social detox. I can't even, the people who say they're leaving social media, I can't even imagine. It would kill me. Like, I need to talk to everybody all the time.
So the thing is,
I need it.
If I leave social media, the people I talk to, I have their phone numbers. So I'll just text them. It doesn't actually matter. So I'm not on social media like some people are. Like, I don't sit there and doom scroll very often. I don't do that. Mm-hmm. I get on Messenger. I talk to my, 3 or 4 little people. And then I go on Instagram. I scroll through cat reels and owl reels. And I'm in ocean, a lot of ocean stuff. Raccoon page. Like, I sit there and scroll that. And then I'm like, okay. And then I'm done. I spend the rest of my day coloring and playing Klondike like a 50-year-old woman. Like, my kids make fun of me. They're like, at least it's not Farmville. I'm like, oh my God. First of all, Klondike is delightful. So
I don't even know what Klondike is. Because
let's be real.
I'm a young Gen Zer.
It's actually really fun. So I
don't play games.
I do. I play. So that's all I do is I color.
I like talking to people.
And I play Klondike on my phone and I do my job. And I have to write a paper tonight. I'll be fine. So
anyway,
and I'm off at school.
Oh my God. See, I can't. I need to get another
There's
job.
the ADHD.
That's what I need to do.
That's where my ADHD comes in. So that's what I do. I'm not late. I'm not super messy. I'm just my ADHD is because I can't have my brain. My brain needs to be occupied on 16 things.
There's too many tabs open.
Yeah. That's what it is.
That's what they call it. Too many tabs open. Yeah, I need to be doing 25 things at once.
And I need to go do the dishes.
I get bored. I can't do one. I need to, and I always think, oh, I can carry on this conversation and do that thing. I can't. I'm going to get engrossed in this conversation.
What I used to do when I was a kid, I remember this teacher making a comment about it. I was coloring something, and usually people color things in a certain way, like they outline it first or whatever. And I would start coloring it different. Like I would start at like one side, and then I'd go to the other side, and then I'd color the other side, and then I'd color the other side, and then I'd like meet the colors, and then I'd do a line, and then I'd do a line. And I had a teacher once, she was like, "That's interesting way you're coloring." And I was like, "Okay, thank you." Because I realized that's not how people color. Like, because I would start like she's probably saying, "You probably have some kind of undiagnosed mental illness." Third grader in my class that I don't know how to diagnose you. But yeah, I was, because it's like if I'm coloring a square, I would start in one corner and color like kind of like the spider web shape like out. And then I'd go to the opposing corner and do the same thing. Then I go to the other corner, and then I do the other thing. And then I would like draw lines between them and make it
weird, Amy.
I know.
It's weird. You know how I drew as a child? I was notorious for my tornado pictures.
I drew houses.
A tornado was this. Just lots of them in different colors. And that was like all my childhood pictures were tornadoes because it was just 17 colors. And it was fun.
Wild.
That's how my brain works.
Maybe
somebody should have had a clue there was something going on in there. But yeah.
Well, mine was also very neat. I stayed inside the lines. I made sure everything was outlined very darkly. And then I colored inside of it because it's my anxiety.
I gave up halfway through.
It needs to be contained.
Speaking of which,
I also did too. I would start coloring something. It was like someone's shoe is colored, and then I turn the page. I'm like, nah, I'm bored.
I would get bored because
I color on my phone. I mentioned this a lot. I have an app on my phone where I color.
Okay.
Let me show you. You can't see it. Let me show you. So cute. It's fucking magical. I'm fucking magical.
I did this on Thanksgiving with Leslie. I never finished it because ADHD. It was, the parts I did are fantastic.
Yeah.
I kept it because I'm like, I'll finish it someday. I'm not gonna.
I have markers. Do you have markers?
But I might. I have markers. I'm never going to bother going to get them and finishing. I have other shit to do. I have conversations to have, Amy.
Oh my God. So it's opening.
Anyway.
Basically, I have like 30 pictures that I've colored one or two things in.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, that's basically. But then there's achievements if you do certain things within certain blocks. So.
See, the achievement thing, I saw somebody had posted something about different apps where they're good for like ADHD. And it turned different things into like a video game where you unlocked achievements. And I'm like, that just doesn't do anything for my brain. I don't care.
Oh, I do. I like any gold star.
Even like at the axe thing, you're playing it for points. I just don't give much of a shit about like I'm doing it because I like doing it. It'd be cool if I could say I won and I was good at it. But like, I'm not even, when you're done throwing, you go up and they have you initial what your score is. So you can basically be saying that you trust their math. And I'm like, oh, you're probably better at it than I am. I don't give a shit. I'm not going to come back and be like, no, I won. You did my math wrong.
Right.
I don't fucking care. I'm not that competitive unless it's with you. And then I'm very competitive.
Are you competitive with me and I'm not even competing?
I have to stay married for longer than
you did. You beat me.
Just to make you look bad. So
I was like,
mission accomplished.
Because I remember when I got divorced, you were like, I've only been married for 15 years. And I was like, well, I've been married for 18 years and I can't anymore. And now you're like, it's been over 20 years now, bitch. I'm like, wow.
Well, look at me being married for a long ass time.
Wow. That's
I'm just saying it makes me a better person.
I mean, clearly you just tried harder.
Definitely.
Harder. I really should have
really put all kinds of effort in.
Been more submissive and maybe women. I just I don't
think that's the answer, Amy. I'm just.
Are you sure? Should I ask?
You should, yeah.
I'm gonna text him and say,
ask
what
him.
could I have done to save
Maybe
us?
he'll take you back.
Oh, 100% he would. Absolutely. He would.
I bet he would.
I would cheat on him.
Definitely take you back.
I would cheat on him nonstop.
Do you think he'd take me over you? Like if I were like, hey, I've been hearing a lot about you. And I am intrigued. What if you and I hear good things.
Sadly.
You're terrible in
Do
bed.
you look older than your dad now?
And you're mean.
All these things are good for me.
Where do I sign up?
Yeah, all these things. Terrible in bed. He's not terrible in bed. He just doesn't do it. It's like once a week maybe, and it's like, yeah, I'm good for like. I'm good. I'm good for a while.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Anyway, I pulled up the patrons this time. Since
I keep fluffing
you're
my
the
hair.
one doing the Minnesota goodbye now. Let's see. It's because it's so fluffy. I'm trying. Like I decided mine looks better like this. I always think there's going to be some new person tuning in, and they're going to be like, "Why do they just keep fixing their hair?"
Because we can see ourselves. I'm literally not even looking.
You can't let me see myself in a camera. Basically, it's like we're lab rats or like lab monkeys. Yeah. And they put mirrors in front of us to see what
I have a reflective surface, and I'm just going to keep, like a fish, I'm just going to keep running into it.
It turns out what we do is just the whole time.
I screw myself.
Eyebrows not symmetrical.
I don't have eyebrows. Like I even drew them on today. I don't have eyebrows because I'm a redhead. I don't have eyebrows.
I dyed mine, so this is my fresh hair dye eyebrow job. Literally. I'm very mad because I did not have time to do my fingernails. I was hoping, so I'll do them right after this, and then they'll look badass. I painted them green. They look cool anyway. But I won't get to go anywhere because fucking COVID.
I might go somewhere tomorrow if I write my paper today. We'll see.
How many days am I legally required to not interact with humans?
You have to wait until you're testing negative, I'm pretty sure.
I don't know. According to my friend Carol, you could keep like...
I'll ask my friend.
I have a doctor. I could ask her. I just don't feel like it.
Like I could text her and ask.
Aren't you basically a nurse?
Shh, don't tell people that. I don't want pictures of rashes.
Yeah, she does.
No, I don't.
The really obscure ones. She loves.
Don't tell people that. You didn't even know this until
rashes.
You didn't even know this until like July. You're like, wait a second, what?
Dick pics with rashes up and down. Like that's. Can't get enough of them.
It was so funny when you finally learned it. You were like, wait, what?
Guess I'll be sending you all of my weird rashes now.
I mean, okay. It's better than where you have been sending them. I'm just saying. You gotta stop sending those to your mom.
Oh my god. Okay. Oh, Patreon. So,
and the segment today on the book is golden. It's gold. I said a line that I never thought I would ever say out of my mouth, and I'm still kind of embarrassed by it, but also proud. I sent a text to my friend. I was like,
I feel like Leslie would like that line.
It just,
you need it. She'll love it.
I mean, I could say it here, and maybe people will become more patrons if they understand the context. I asked Amy if someone has a steel-toed dick. Because that's a real working man's penis.
Here's the thing. The premise of the book we are reading is that working man, blue-collar Mike, wears steel-toed boots everywhere, and he thinks that's sexy. So Amy was like, what if we up that just a little bit and make him even sexier?
I just feel like, that way he's always hard and ready to go. I feel like
so if, oh god, I just had the worst joke. I can't
Why? It's us. It's just me and you here.
Nobody else is here. So if he hits you with it, it's got to hurt a lot then, right? But it doesn't hurt him. It just hurts you because it's steel on the tip. That doesn't sound fun. Well, I suppose it
depends on where he hits.
It depends on where he hits, and it depends on what your specific proclivities are. Maybe
I would probably enjoy that.
You would probably enjoy it. I would not.
Yeah, I'm like, that's all you got, bitch, and then I get hit harder.
Well, that's where the boots come in. What if he also had steel-toed gloves?
Just like fingers.
Just saying.
Oh, man. Like that, like the porno Edward penis hands, and it's all of them are steel-toed.
I'm picturing little. Oh my god, I can't.
Just dicks on all his hands.
I can't. No. You need. Oh my god, finger puppets, Amy. We need finger puppets. Of the little steel-toed. This is a craft project I would be excellent at.
Yeah. You have COVID. You might as well. What else are you doing?
I have COVID, ADHD, and tons of craft supplies.
So many crafts.
I've got so many goddamn craft supplies.
Put it on your sloth.
Oh my god, a little steel.
All right, this is why. Okay,
this is nonsense. We gotta go. No. This is stupid. Everybody stopped listening at this point. Okay. Or more people started listening and they're gonna give us money. So if you want to give us money for that fabulous comedy segment you just heard, that we totally planned.
Yeah, we write all our comedy like the men do.
We have a very scripted show. We are just like scathing atheist over here. We weeks in advance, right up.
We have rehearsals. We have practice. We're not busy. This is what we do full time.
We do. Listen, we're professionals. We got the jokes. So let's see. Patreon. So if you want to go to Patreon and give us money, you should, because if you do that, we can go on more trips.
Actually, people know that from you live streaming all the time, that this is just literally how we are.
Yeah, like if you don't believe this is just join the Secret Soup Talk group. Yeah. Watch all of my live streams from Texas, which I'm probably gonna make some little clips from those too. I figured out how to make reels.
You somehow tagged my personal page in it because it was when you were drunk waiting for pancakes, and you somehow tagged me. I keep getting recommended to add it to my page. I'm like, I'm not gonna add that to my page. I'm sorry.
But that was the one where I figured out how to use filters. Oh my god, I need to go back and watch that one tonight. Make some fantastic reels because I used all the filters in that one, and it was the one where we were watching. Was
I laying on the couch in my spot? I was just like, I discovered a spot on the couch. I was like, yep, and this is where I live.
I was live streaming us watching our live stream from the night before.
You, not me.
Waiting for pancakes.
Yeah, it was funny.
To be fair, my consciousness was altered a little bit, which made the filters magical. Like I had no idea you could make it snow in the background and like sparkle.
I was just laughing at Amy.
Things in her movie, and so I just did.
Tags me in this in the Secret Soup Talk page and in my personal page. I'm like, what are you doing?
I'm old. I don't know things.
I'm like, you can tag me in the Secret Soup Talk page. I will allow that. I'm not in my personal page.
I have a lady brain. I don't know how it works. I was so delighted when I learned how captions work in Reels last night. So easy. I had to go in and change some of the words on the orgy one, because it was misquoting me and my yelling from the kitchen.
The orgy was funny. I'm so drunk. I'm with my friend Bob, and I'm so drunk. And I say, everybody like leaves. They leave the room. They go outside to smoke or something. And I'm like, I want to go to what is happening. That's what I said.
I go to what is happening.
And Bob, because he's an asshole, he's like, no, you're putting off this whole vibe. You can't. They're not like, it's you. It's your. He's like literally telling me it's because of you. Well, you can't join them. The vibe. It's the vibe.
The part I had to cut out was because you can only do a certain length for captions.
Yeah.
And he had come full circle on the joke and been like, you didn't get invited. Just like I didn't get invited to the orgy. So he's like, maybe if you had invited her to the orgy.
Yeah, he's a dick. It's funny.
You could.
Yeah.
It was a perfectly timed joke though, and I applaud him. I just couldn't leave
funny.
it in because I needed to shorten it for the caption.
Yeah, he's a funny friend.
I'll give it to him. It was hilarious. I'm gonna make more of those because short fucking
so what we should do.
So
work meeting is put some of those on a TikTok.
Put my working hat on. Yeah, we do. We need a separate TikTok just for.
I haven't figured out how to do a separate
TikTok. Hey, Ocean, do you know how to make a TikTok?
Oh my God, we can just message later.
I thought we were having the work meeting right now.
All right.
Okay, if you want to volunteer to be our personal TikTok manager, hit us up. We're not going to pay you. Anyway, we're going to keep all this money we get from Patreon to take trips to Texas and buy booze. So our patrons, if you pledge at $6.66 a month or more, you get a shout out every single week from me. Our current patrons at that level and above are Nathan. Oh shit, Nathan messaged me a long time ago and I never replied to it, and I'm just remembering that right now.
Okay, do it after the show.
I'm sorry, Nathan. Nathan, Jason, Don Ford, Voice of Tennessee Adventure, Renee, Brentley, April, Paul, Sarah, Randall, Life in the Left Lane podcast, Yesh Medicine Bird, say that 5 times fast.
It's hard.
Natalie, Wendy, Nuggin, and I guess since Sarah picked the number last week.
What was the number last week? I didn't listen.
It was like 7 million. Like she went nuclear. So it was
our friend Sarah. Bad. She was on the show last week. She's our friend. She's actually like our real friend. She has no spoons, only knives. That is her personality. She has never any spoons. She goes straight for the violence. She is all violence.
Gentle knives. They're like
for us
silky knives. I suppose, yeah. For us,
Sarah is her immediate response to anything is violence. She's like, oh, where are they? I'm gonna go punch their dick right in their face. I'm gonna go stab them right in their eye holes. And you're like,
yes,
wow.
You want her on your team, is what I'm
cut
saying.
Me off in traffic, but I am here for this. Like, yeah, she's amazing.
Yeah, no,
I love Sarah.
she will stab people. I don't know.
Should have been at my birthday party. That's what I'm saying.
Right? Oh, we could have teamed up.
Oh no, she would have just charged over there. She would have just. Well,
I feel like she and I could be very creepy together because we're similar hair length and color and height, and like I feel like we could really do a whole
have the resting bitch face
twinsy vibe if we dressed in matching outfits. We could scare the shit out of some people. Anyway, my point was, I don't think she understood how the rich ranking worked. I think she thought the higher the number, the better.
That must be it. Not because of what I just said.
No, not because of that. So it was real. It was real. Like, I'm pretty sure it was.
Well, I'm not going to be nice and be like 5.
Yeah. So,
okay,
like 15? Fine. Boring. How about 28 for how old you are?
Oh yeah, I had a birthday.
Okay. Yeah. So 28th favorite Rich is our other patron. He is our 28th favorite. There are 27 other Riches in front of him who we like more.
Just because I haven't met them all. Otherwise, your number would be higher.
Yeah, exactly. I've never met him either. I think he's a catfish. Do you think he even exists?
Which one? Any of the 27 Riches? No.
The 28th one.
Oh no, I've never met him.
I've never met him. I don't know. He seems weird. All right. Thank you for joining us. We will see you next week. Go eat your food, Amy. Bye.
So hungry. Okay. Bye.
To all of you motherfuckers who put up with the Amy's droning on week after week. If you enjoy their delightful bitchcraft, please follow them on all of the social medias and send them all of your money on Patreon or PayPal. You can find them on these platforms by using the Google machine. It's not hard. If you want to bitch with other fans about the show, join the Secret Soup Talk Facebook group. If you want to tell Amy and Amy to fuck off personally, you can send an email to secularsouppodcast@gmail.com, although it may go unanswered. Please rate and review the show on iTunes, Facebook, and wherever else you can review things like this. It will help spread the soup gospel far and wide. And hey, text someone right now. Tell your friends. As always, we'll leave you with the vocal stylings of Mr. Eli Bosnick.
Secular soup greed. Soup is the ultimate virtue. It's delicious, nutritious, patriarchy smashing, racism fighting, warm and fuzzy, human affirming, fun having, anti-theist, glitter throwing, tummy satisfying, pair of new shoes fulfilling, diversity seeking, happiness. Minestrone, beef and barley, chicken broth and split pea, gazpacho, tomato, clam chowder and potato, chicken noodle, beef noodle, egg drop and ramen cup, miso, gumbo, leek and pho. Grab a bowl and taste the magic. Slurp even this.